Alright, we're going to be watching GalaxyDragon, who's going to be playing Orisa and Rammatra on Numbani. This is Plat 3 on PC, I think. I have pretty significant FPS experience. I'm familiar with the payload game style through Paladins, Immortal 2 and Valorant, Diamond 2 and Paladins. However, I feel like I have a few issues that either come through a lack of game knowledge or misunderstanding what to do in certain situations. I've identified a few of my weaknesses. Tend to overextend and try to play too much as a carry. Unable to create space beyond big choke points without overextending. Don't know when to trade backlines or peel for teammates getting dove. General lack of map knowledge. If anyone could please help me identify additional issues, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so I've done a pre-watch of this, and those a little earlier today, so I don't remember all of it. But I think that the overall two things that came about were you try way too hard to do something about the tracer, which is really not your job. And you don't necessarily zone the team well. And I think we'll kind of see that as we play it out. I also talked to you separately via DM, and we talked about the fact that you're not super familiar with Numbani. I already sent you my Numbani map guide, but I will also link it again in this because I think it's extremely helpful to understand where to play tank. Though you actually end up playing the right spots typically. I just think your prioritization is off. So if you're spamming, I don't get too aggressive here, because again, if you get slept here, you could just die, and that throws the point right away. So like, don't go too crazy, try to get a lot of value here. So you should have already been rotating back, because you saw that they're going underneath, right? They went under you, so there's two options. Either they take the under route, or they take main. Either way, you are already out of position. I would actually say that you basically totally screwed yourself just by standing here right now. The moment that you saw them get to here, right, and then you saw that he's no longer going upper, because you can see that the shots are coming from the left, you should have immediately ran all the way back. And the reason being, on Numbani, your job is to deter them from even getting into the point. And then once they get into the point, it's to split them up and then pick people off. Okay? Letting them come into the point for free is a huge mistake. So, for example, I would come back, and I talked about this in the money map, and play like here, and try to tell, hey, if they're coming upper, under, upper, or coast, and then get ready to deflect them. If they're coming under, drop down here, right, and kind of make their life miserable, make it hard for them to come out. If they want to come out, you're going to be close range doing a lot of damage, and your team gets to shoot them. Okay? If they're upper, then you play up here. If they're coast, you play over here, and then you drop down accordingly when the time comes. So you are already out of position right now. So luckily, Hanzo gets a kill here. So you see how all four of them have now gotten into the point. Okay, you're going to actually end up winning this team fight, but it's not really because of you. Right? Now, you come over here, drop on the point, which is reasonable, but I would like to point out that the Rammatra, the only person you're really fighting here is the Rammatra. If you stay off the point, the Rammatra gets zero value whatsoever. Okay, because he can't hit anybody. Like, as Rammatra, like, what am I going to do here? Like, I'm not going to be able to do any damage to anybody down here. The moment you drop down, the Rammatra can now get value attacking you, which forces your team to heal you. It's not it's not necessarily the wrong call to drop here, just because you have to prevent the point from progressing, and you don't want to force any of your teammates to drop down. But I would just like to point out that there might be situations where you look around, like, let's say you're down, 3-on-4 or something, and you see the Rammatra go to point, clear the top first, and then drop, and then give them a tick on the point. Okay, very, very important to recognize that they are playing the wrong tank for this situation. And I talk about that a lot in the Numbani map. Brawl tanks are not very good at Numbani. Because, again, this Rammatra can't do anything right now on point unless you drop. Anyway, you drop. Do this, it's fine. So, let's look at this first Fortify. Again, as Orisa, I think it's fairly straightforward. Okay, you want to use spin first as your defensive ability, then use Fortify if you absolutely have to. Let's look at this Fortify right now. So you spin, you have 550 health. Right, 508, 507, 505, and then you pop Fortify. So why did you pop Fortify right now? That's like super important, is for all of your ability choices to be very intentional. You are in no danger. The only one damaging you here is a Rammatra, okay? There are two supports, the Moira and the Mercy here. You don't need Fortify. Like, you're never going to die. Rammatra only does 80 damage a second when he's in Nemesis form. He does more damage when he's in staff form to you. Like, you literally, mathematically cannot die while the Mercy or anybody is healing you, right? If you had a Lucy healing you, the Rammatra would literally take, even if you didn't use defensive abilities, probably take 30, 40 seconds to kill you. It's like mathematically impossible for you to die here. You should not have used Fortify. Is it going to matter in this fight? It is not. However, in the future, this will matter, which is why I'm trying to emphasize this to get you out of the habit of using Fortify when you don't need it. Okay, you got to be looking at your health often and be like, do I actually need Fortify right now? You don't. you're totally fine. Anyway, this is all clean up. The biggest part here, the reason why you won is because your Hanzo killed the Junkrat first. None of this stuff matters. Like, this is just cleanup. Alright, go ahead, you're gonna spin them off. Great, good play. Again, doesn't really matter. Yeah, yep, you're dead. Kill the Mercy, great. Again, none of this stuff mattered. What mattered was that very first kill the Hanzo got. That's what totally messed up this attack for them, and they should have stopped the attack right away. Again, that's extremely unlikely in plat, but you're coming out again, right? Spam a little bit, great, sure. I would again already start backing up here. You do not want to get trapped out here. So, for example, like he could have thrown Vortex here and slowed you. Now you could have popped Fortify to get out of it, but then you waste Fortify, which is a big ability for you. So you try to get back. Again, don't even cut this close. So another great example where why did you pop Fortify here? Right? You got 490 health, okay? Two supports can see you right now. You even got grenaded. You don't need Fortify right now. This is a bad Fortify. All you have to do is stand right here and attack, right? And then when they start trying to push through you, spin them back. And then go attack, spin them back. Over and over and over again. Be super annoying. Because they're never going to get past you, right? Unless they want a full commit. When they full commit, then you pop Fortify and you mow them down. But right now, this is a huge waste. So you see, because you're not holding the angle, you're going to let them in. They're all going to start pouring through, and this is your fault, right? It was your job to force them all to just sit here in the choke, to the point that they just give up and go somewhere else. Giving them high ground here is a big mistake. And again, the Tracer goes by you, but it's not your job to deal with the Tracer, right? As soon as she goes here, right, I would stop attacking. It's not your job. You have to stop this. You're over-index on the Tracer, which is just not a good target for you too, right? It's really hard for you to hit her because she's a small target, and your attacks aren't hit scan. All you have to do is prevent the 4 people here from doing anything, and the Tracer will die. You spin forward, you go for the Mercy, right? It's a lot more missing than I would like on a stationary Mercy. Alright, Junk's low, yep, pop the kill. I agree with dropping here, you're taking a lot of damage. Right, and the Mortar is killed too, because they got low. And then you're gonna pop Fortify here, and now you've already lost 3, so there's basically no way that you can win this fight. And then you Terra Swords, which was a terror idea. You should have recognized right now that it's currently a 2-on-5, 2-on-4, 2-on-5, 2-on-4. Okay, you're just not gonna kill. You're just not gonna kill him up here. That's just not possible. You should just save ulti. Right. Also, you didn't pop at the right time. You should have popped when the Mercy got right before there to give yourself a chance at least at doing something. So you completely wasted ultimate, and you didn't do your job. Now let's go back and analyze how did the Moira kill 2 here. Right, because that's why you lose, is that the Moira kills 2. So we'll rewind all the way back to here, where I told you all you have to do is sit here, literally just sit here, and prevent them from coming out. Now you come in, you watch the Tracer, right? Tracer's gonna go, that's fine, right? Everybody else is gonna go, and then the Tracer's gonna blink, and we're just fighting, messing around right now. So watch how the Junkrat is gonna come through here. He's going to start putting pressure on Hanzo, because again, this Junkrat would never have made it out if you were just sitting here at the choke. Okay, he puts pressure on the Hanzo, gets the Hanzo super low, right? Hanzo almost wins the duel, Hanzo's super low, right? That's fine. Now, the reason why you're not being healed is because the Junkrat puts pressure on your Ana, right? Which forces her backwards, and then she's trying to heal you, and the Tracer's going to come in, and she's going to basically kill your Ana, right? Junkrat jumps up to try to help the Ana, and then they die. They both died to the damage orb, but Tracer would have killed them anyway. And you might look at this and be like, oh, well, the Tracer killed 2. Like, I'm supposed to stop the Tracer. Again, the reason they died is not because of the Tracer, right? The reason they died is a cascading series of mistakes, starting from you not holding them at the choke, okay? It begins with you not holding the choke, which allows the Junk to come in. Right? Then the Hanzo's trying to help you right now because he recognizes that you're under pressure, so he doesn't see the Junk. The Junk pushes him, gets the Hanzo really low. Hanzo has to drop. Then Junk puts pressure on the Ana, right? So she starts getting splashed. Again, you get the kill, great. But the problem is now the Ana was busy, right? She was healing you. And again, it would be a lot easier to heal you if you just sat here and then she just throws a grenade in and you win the fight, right? Then she's having trouble healing you. She has to heal the Junkrat. She doesn't heal the Tracer. Now the Tracer's on the Ana, right? Your Junk tries to come up to assist, and then they all just die to this damage orb. But again, the Tracer probably would have killed both of them anyway. So all of that happened up here while you were just messing around doing nothing, quite frankly, right? Like, none of the stuff over here makes any difference at winning the fight unless you get a pick. And that's why you end up losing. It's also a good reason why playing Brawl tanks is not very good. If you play a Brawl tank, you have to pray that they come upper or lower. Otherwise, you're not going to get any value. Like, imagine if they ran, like, Winston, Tracer, Genji, Mercy, Kiriko or something. What the heck are you going to do, right? They're all going to dive top right, and you're just going to be standing over here just staring at them, like, shooting. Like, that's the problem with playing Brawl tanks on this point. on attack or defense. It's not impossible to do, but it's heavily dependent upon what the enemy lineup is, and if they run a certain lineup that you're not ready for, you just lose. Compared to if you run dive, there's never a scenario where they will run a lineup where you're like, there's nothing I can do to stop this, right? Always, if you play defense here, and you're playing dive, you will always have something that you can do in the situation. Anyway, so you lose this fight. And you waste ultimate, right? Which is also really big. So not having ultimate here is going to be very unfortunate. So I think you were the last one alive. You should have been going this way because you want that first fight to happen here. You want one fight to happen here, and then one fight to happen here, and then one fight to happen here. Okay, this is one of the rare, because of how long it is, 3 fight points. So you want that nice early fight here. You come up. You get trapped. Again, you don't need to pop fortify, right? Just wait. Just wait. Be like, do I really need to pop fortify? First of all, you saw the junk drop down, but you know it happens. Okay, just wait. Be like, are you actually in danger? You're not in danger. At 460 health, and I believe you have 2 supports that can see you. You're not gonna die here. Just save the fortify. Right? You pop fortify like every single time. You're like, oh, you know, I'm in the slightest bit of danger. I pop fortify. You have to get greedier with fortify and try to save it for when you really need it. That's how you maximize value. Again, not your job to deal with the junk. Just like don't even like you just can't deal with the junk at this angle. You can't deal with the junk and you can't deal with the tracer. And you might say, okay, then who am I supposed to deal with? Well, the only option is Rammatra, and you would be like, well, is that going to give me enough value? The problem is you're playing a brawl tank. You know, if you play a brawl tank and they got one spammer and one flanker, like, yeah, it sucks, right? I mean, I don't know what to say here. Like, you know, if they're playing Pharah and you're playing Orisa, you don't expect, oh, my job is to deal with the Pharah. Like, you just can't. Like, your only thing that you can do here to add value is to deflect the Rammatra and hope that that's enough to help you win. Right? If the Junkrat drops or something, you have an option here. But again, this, big mistake. So you're going to see the Tracer, and you start chasing after her. But watch what happens, right? So you're chasing, you're not going to do anything. Watch what happens when you leave this spot. So everyone on your team up here is expecting you to control the front. I think that's fair, right? Though literally the one job you can do as a brawl tank is to hold the front. But because you don't hold the front, watch how this Hanzo gets low, and then the Rammatra just runs him down. This never happens if you were standing here. Because A, I don't think Rammatra gets close enough. Second, if you try to commit, you could just spun to block the punches and knock the Rammatra back. So by you trying to chase the Tracer, you've just killed one of your teammates. Is he a little overextended? He is, but mistakes happen, right? But you tracing the Tracer is great. The Tracer, you're playing into the Tracer's hands, right? This is exactly what she wants you to do, is to waste time chasing her around doing absolutely nothing. And again, now they walk down main. They're going to kill your Junkrat. If you were closer, you could have, like, javelin this, for example. And now you've lost 3. Again, because you're just not doing your job. You know, again, it's not your job to deal with Tracer. I'm going to be, like, very clear about this. And if the Tracer's running over your team, either go a hero that deals with Tracer, or just hope your team takes care of it. Right? And sometimes, maybe that won't work. But I would say most of the time, it'll be fine as long as you get value in other ways. If the Tracer's running over your team and you're not doing anything, then that's your fault, right? But the Tracer's running over your team and you're killing their team, or zoning 4, like if you zone 4 people off and the Tracer kills your whole team, what are you gonna do, right? Like if they can't win a 4-on-1, you're gonna lose this game no matter what. Just do the best you can in the situation. You're trying to push too hard to move outside of your role. So now you're trying to fight this way too aggressively. You're over here all by yourself in a 1-on-5 situation. You're quite lucky here to kill the Tracer. Oh yeah, she's overextended. So I would take the Tracer kill and just go back. Right? All you do, just go back, wait, contest at the last moment. Because right now, you see how you're just burning resources for nothing. Like, if I see you do this, that's a Rammatra, I'm like, okay, cool. You've already popped Fortify, right? You pop Spin. I'm just going to walk up. After this Fortify ends, I'm going to kill you. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. You're quite lucky that they're not pushing you more aggressively. Right? Now you use Spin, and now you're super low. And now you can't control space, right? Your team is going to have a lot of trouble. Like, you see how the Rammatra is doing a good job, right? Rammatra's going to control this corner. If the Rammatra controls this corner, you can never contest the cart. Is that fair, right? Like, you have to have health here, like waiting right here, and then you surge forward. I think you actually do end up getting contested, but it's quite lucky that you do, right? You come forward, you have 209 health, like, you should just die instantly right now. Like, I don't know why this Moira is just AFK. Right? Pops Nano, right? May blocks on point. Again, super lucky that the Moira was just AFK for you to kill. Because, quite frankly, I don't think you should have won that fight. But, sure, we'll take it, right? Sometimes you get lucky, you know? Sometimes they go AFK, you get it. So you're gonna chase here, which I don't think is a bad idea. I think again, taking high ground is good in this situation anyway. So just take high ground, right? Sit up here. Don't throw that javelin, right? Because especially when you shoot first, the tracer's immediately gonna start blinking. You should have waited to look for a better javelin opportunity. Like right now, throwing at the Moira, because now you see the Moira is gonna fade. Go for the Moira right now. Like this javelin, this is the money javelin, not this like crazy one at the tracer, which is not gonna work. See, like even at close range, it's so hard to hit the tracer. You know, this is not like good value for you to be attacking the tracer. This should be the absolute like last target for you. Right now, Moira fades. I would try to figure out where did she fade to so I can kill her. So for example, right now, you do this, you fade, right? You see the direction she's going. I turn, I look, she high ground. I walk right over here, and I Terra Search, and I kill the Moira. Easy. You know, what's she gonna do? She has no fade. You know she doesn't have fade. It ended up being a good Terra Search anyway. We'll take it, and you win that fight. Great. So let's go next. Alright, you see the junk? Try to deflect them. Again, that shield was already up when you threw that javelin. You're gonna lose your May here. So, one thing to recognize is you don't need to hold high ground. There's nobody who's coming high ground. There's no divers or anything. You should be dropping right now to control this right room. Right? Right room / main. And because you're not here controlling it, the junk's gonna one-tap the May. Again, you're not adding any value, just shooting up here. And now you're like trying to go down, like attack the tracer. But again, like you really have to control the front, right? That's like your primary job is control this. The moment this started happening, the tire, you should have popped Fortify and ran in here and killed the Junkrat. Right? Fortify's too late. Tracer's low. Again, you're spending way too much effort trying to kill the tracer, and you die. So again, what's the correct call here? The correct call was recognize, hey, look, they're not taking high ground. Right? I see the junk who was top left. That was like the primary reason up here. Drop. Now I get ready to drop main, right? And come down and hold this room. Because that's close. They're like a bunch of close range heroes, right? Tracer, Junk, Rammatra. So why are you playing far away where you're also good close? And again, tire was also big. So like multiple, I say positional mistake, and then tire, you could have just fortified. Because when you fortify, the tire cannot kill you, and you could have gone in here and just killed the Junkrat and forced him to pop it early. I don't know what this male D was. Alright, so don't bother shooting Rammatra shield. It only lasts like 4 seconds and it's 1,000 health. It almost never breaks unless you have a Bastion. So if you're fighting here, like, why are you moving backwards? You have plenty of health right now. You're gonna hit this javelin. Why are you moving backwards? Just walk forwards, right? Be aggressive. Again, your Mei is more aggressive than you are, and she has half as much health as you do and fewer defensive abilities. You know, like this is wrong. Like you should be ahead of the Mei, not vice versa. You have full health here. There's no reason. Again, your backline is kind of getting wrecked right now. But what are you gonna do about it? You know, what are you gonna like run all, like spin, run all the way over here and do something? You can't. That's just the reality is that you can't. You know, you have to zone these 3 and hope that your backline can figure itself out. Right, the 2 DPS plus the 2 support have to figure it out. So you take a ton of damage here. Right. Again, at this point, so here's a good tip, is when you're shooting at somebody, think about whether or not you need to keep moving around an angle. Can you shoot the Rammatra from here? You can. So why would you go over here and shoot the Rammatra? Because that allows the backline to now attack you. Like, this is totally unnecessary why you walk into the open like this. You could have just stayed here the whole time, attacking, and you would have been fine. But when you go around the corner, now you take a lot more damage, it spooks you, and then you pop Fortify. And I don't think you really needed Fortify here, because the only one attacking you is the Rammatra, until this junk arrives. And now this junk arrives, and if you had Fortify right now, you turn, you pop Fortify, you kill him. Instantly. Like, there's nothing he can do. But now you're going to run out of Fortify mid-fight, with the Junkrat, which gets you super, super low. You get spooked. You lose track of it. By the way, you could easily kill them with Spin plus Javelin. And then you die. So again, like ability usage, right? Popping Fortify too early. Right here, you still could have killed them, I think, with Spin plus Javelin. But I understand you getting spooked there. And then you're going to die, which is going to give them a ton of space. So you're going to walk into last. You walk onto the point. I don't think you really had any other choice here. Again, don't shoot the shield, because you're going to need that energy. That heat in a second. Mercy's just AFK. Oh, why don't you just kill Mercy? Right, just keep shooting her. But again, like they're all around you. They popped ultis. There's not much you can do here. So a bunch of like significant errors just there on defense from a positioning slash decision making perspective. I think your overall mechanics I think are fine, right? Besides the when to pop fortify problem. So you go Rammatra here. Again, Rammatra is the exact same problem as Reinhardt or Orisa here, which is you have no vertical mobility. So, like, what's your actual plan here? Like, they can easily, if I'm a Rammatra here, you're never getting out of this doorway. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to pop Nemesis and go punch, 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 and what are you going to do? Even if you walk past me, I'm not going to punch you, I'm going to punch your team. And you're going to have to walk out here through my shield into 5 people, 4 of whom are attacking you, with your supports and DPS completely blocked off. It's absolutely crazy to be playing Rammatra here. So you pop Nemesis to try to make your way in. I would block right there because you're taking way too much damage. Right, he just punches through to two of your teammates, and now what are you gonna do? You know, it's just really hard for you to get value in this situation, right? The Rammatra gets so much more value because your whole team's coming down one tiny choke. You did not do a good job leading there at that distance. You had to go a little further. Oh no, don't die here. Oh my god, you're so lucky. All right, you try the same thing again. Fortunately, the team's not set up this time, so you know you put the shield down, but. I mean, that's okay. I guess it blocks Vortex. But once again, you're like, wait, how do you actually take this? You know, it's just you and a Brig trying to fight through this tiny-ass choke. It's really, really hard to do anything here. You should not be pushing into your shield. So, thankfully, your team goes Pharah, and they put a lot of pressure on the side, which is great. That shield was bad. I think you should tell right away. The shield gives you no value. At a minimum, you should just wait till people like start looking / attacking you. Alright, good Nemesis, I agree with this, to try to pressure the Moira. Yep, now you go across the point. Moira fades. So, when she fades, where did she fade to? Like, this is a consistent thing. When she fades, you're like, oh, whatever, I guess she's just gone. So, almost always, Moiras, when they fade, are going to go in the direction they're looking. It is extremely rare, especially in Plat, that a Moira will do a 180 and fade the other way. So, if she fades while looking forwards, that means she's going to go forwards, which means just look for where she's going, pop Vortex where she lands, and then kill her. Because she actually lands on the point, in the middle of the whole team. Like, you could have killed her so fast here. Now, she dies anyway, but sometimes she won't. And it's really your job to track where she goes, and then see if you have a kill opportunity. Sometimes you won't, right? If she's good, you usually will not have a kill opportunity, but sometimes she doesn't have a choice. Don't throw Vortex when the shield is up. Obviously. So this Ryan messes up, or Rammatra messes up rather. Yep, great, kill, run him over. Rammatra's dead here. Cool. So now payload's moving. What's your goal? I mean, don't play Rammatra, but if you're playing Rammatra, go up and take high ground. Right? Take high ground, prevent them, even though it's not that useful for you, prevent them from using high ground against you. Because the worst case scenario is that you have something like an Ashe, Soldier, Cassidy, whatever, standing up here with, you know, a Mercy, Ana, Pocket, or whatever, you know, even a Sigma, and then your team is just getting absolutely hammered trying to come up to the point because they have high ground control all over you. That's why you should immediately go high ground to deny it from them, even if it's not that useful for you. So you do shoot here. By the way, poking is not super valuable right now because you already have ultimate. So to some extent, your poking only feeds the enemy support ultimates. So I would be careful about poking unless I think it's actually creating space here, or we're going to be able to get a pick from it. Again, don't shoot shields. Don't shoot Rammatra shield. Sorry, specifically. Great. Again, don't back up, right? You see that back up here? No, keep walking forwards. Again, when your team runs ahead of you, something is wrong. Either they're making a mistake or you're making a mistake. This Brig is flying in right now, but you're just kind of chilling in the back. You just keep walking forwards, right? Just keep walking forwards non-stop, go after the back line. The blocking Rammatra is going to take forever. See how you step back there? And now you're out of range. Also, I'm going to go back and analyze, hey, was this the right time to pop ultimate? Yeah, I guess it's fine. I mean, I guess it's good ultimate. I think the thing is that your team, the whole team, like pops, like everybody pops everything. You popped 4 ultimates right here, which is an over ult. But you're like one of the first ones to go, so I think this is less your fault. But if you felt like your team was going to pop ultimates, you could have held there and waited a little longer. Alright, you got point. Great, we'll take it. So you should recognize they have ult advantage, so you will probably, almost assuredly, lose the next fight because they're going to all pop ultis, which is fine. Like, you have to force that fight for them to pop the ultimates. So you want to get a fight as soon as possible to make them ulti. and just kind of assume that you're gonna die. Like, don't intentionally die, but I would assume I'm gonna lose the next fight. Right? You lose Genji. Yep. Back up here. Yeah. Again, you're not a credible threat. If you're not a credible threat, they're not gonna pop multis. So being down one is usually not gonna work. You're gonna hit your. I was gonna say you're gonna hit your tracer. You're very lucky that your tracer did not die. Shield's too far back, right? You want that shield much further up. Aim at head level. What is this? You just fired 40-something ammo before even seeing a target into the cart. Alright, tracer down. Yep. Coalescence force, that's fine. I really want to force Rammatra ulti here, but I'm losing too many teammates to be able to do anything about it. So, recognize that Tracer right here is trying to farm you for Pulse. Well, I guess she already has Pulse, but that's typically what's going on here in this situation. Yeah, Mercy's out of position. Great. Yep, we can probably turn this. So, toss Vortex first before popping ulti, right? Toss Vortex behind them. Alright, so the Rammatra still has not ulti, so remember, in this situation, try to get behind him, to flip him, that way, because the block is directional, that way your teammates, at least, can benefit from this. Oh, this is way too many whiffs. Oh, that's weird. Where did that Cassie come from? Again, your job is not to stay here. Your job is to go up, play up, far up, right? Make their lives hard. I would have reloaded and just walked up, right? You're going to waste almost this entire Nemesis doing nothing. So, right here, I would throw shield right there to shield off my team and go after the backline. So, again, imagine if you had not wasted Nemesis earlier. You could do so much more right now. Right? You pop Nemesis again, but you're not doing anything with it. Like, you run straight over and attack the Rammatra. You see the Tracer right here? You could have gone for the Tracer, right? You could have gone for the Cassidy, but, like, realistically, with this many dead, you're not going to be able to do anything. I do not think this is a good Vortex. You gotta toss that way further back. Right? Your team is the momentum right now. Again, trying way too hard to trace down the Tracer. Like, look how much of this Nemesis form you waste. Right? You're at 8 seconds right now. It's almost 4 seconds before you can do your first punch out of Nemesis. It's just a massive waste of Nemesis form. You gotta, like, predict the future a little bit as to, like, what is gonna happen and whether you can actually hit somebody with it. Again, if you see your team walking forwards, right? The Brig and Soldier, like you heard, Overclock has been popped. You should be walking forwards right now. You have plenty of health, right? You have shield. You should be helping your team, like, take this point. Instead, you play back, which forces your whole team back. You see how your Brig is in? Like, what are you doing over here? I guess you end up deflecting this attempt to stop the res, but I don't think that was part of your original plan. But it does work out well for you. But quite frankly, that felt lucky. I think if you just pushed in the front, they would have had to respect that and never went to contest the Mercy res. I think you just... Yeah, you cap here. Okay, so 1 minute to 117 to 153. Definitely winnable, but it's going to be tricky. Again, still playing Brawl Hero, which is tough on this map. Same plan. Going to try to go top. You are trapped. Now with a Junkrat, there is no way you're going to get through this choke. Your team tries to push through because they're just kind of following your lead. Again, you've now wasted half of your time already. Brig's dead. Right? You Vortex, you shield, but, like, there's nobody here, so you wasted your shield too. You're like, these seconds matter. You're going to try to push in all by yourself against 4. Right? They die. You kill the Junk. That's kind of lucky that nobody's rescued him in that situation. You Vortex. I mean, you have to recognize that this has to be a go next, you know? There's no way you're winning this fight. There's way too many alive still. Like, you just have to die as soon as possible to come back again. So, I mean, obviously you're not a ball player. So, I mean, then you're not a ball player, so we're not going to worry about that. So, the biggest thing I would emphasize here is, number 1, you're picking the wrong hero for the point that you're attacking, A. But 2 is that you need to hurry up. After you realize this fight's over, just hurry up and die. That way you get another chance to take top as a Rammatra. Top or under or whatever you want to do, coast. But, like, the length of period of time that it takes you to die here means that you can't get another attempt. you have to go ball in order to come back, and that's disastrous. You had a minute and 17 seconds, you got one team fight out of that. That's no good. You have to play faster than that, right? Be more decisive. It's like win, die, or get out. Those are your only options. Not like not win, but stay alive for 30 seconds and then die. Like, that is disastrous. And that happens, that's not just this point, right? That's generally for Overwatch. You got to read very quickly, like, are we going to win or are we not going to win? All right, so let's watch your defense. So you're going to play top, as usual, right? Spamming. I don't know that I would shield this because you're not going to be able to stay here very long. Once again, recognize, hey, they went under. Which way are they going? This is pretty dangerous for you to stay here. Like, imagine if Junk hit you with a trap, which, has happened, that you threw it in your face before, you didn't get it. I wouldn't Vortex there because you're totally safe, and you're going to need that Vortex. They're close enough that they could push, like, under or coast very quickly. So, notice, again, you're out of position. You should already be back here to see, are they going top, under, or right? So, they're going coastline, which means that you should already have been right here. Like, standing right here, this corner or this corner, preventing them from walking forwards. Is that what's happening? It is not. You are late to the party, which allows the Tracer to get in, allows the Junk to get in, allows the Rammatra to get in. Also, these supports are over here doing absolutely nothing. It's crazy that you're going to lose this point. So, these three are here. You should have already recognized, again, prevented these three from getting in. Like, the Tracer would have to use multiple blinks to get in, which is okay. Like, you can't stop that, but you can force resources. You spend too much time trying to chase this Tracer that you're just never going to kill. Right? Like, what's the shield? Then Tracer blinks. Now you're just running around doing nothing. Right? 5, 4, 3, 2. You wasted 6 seconds of Nemesis form doing absolutely nothing. All you had to do was kind of like mirror the opposing tank and prevent them from getting anywhere. This is a really hard point to take if your tank creates no space. So if you prevent the Rammatra from getting space, probably you win the point. So again, you're going to go on to point eventually, punching the Rammatra. You see that extremely low health Mercy that you should be targeting. And now you're going to see why it's very unfortunate to be playing Brawl here. Because everyone just kites you around, and now you are the last person alive on the point doing absolutely nothing. It's like, yeah, great, you get a kill, but it doesn't matter. Point's lost. So let's rewind and watch it from the vertical view. So again, you played up. You're out of position already, right? Clearly out of position. They come in. Tracer's going in. You don't do anything to stop the Rammatra from going anywhere, or the Junk, or the Tracer. Junk's taking high ground behind your team. You're just running around on the side doing nothing, right? This Mercy super low in front of you. I think you actually see her on your screen. Yeah, you're going to see this Mercy right now that you could have killed with a punch in the melee. Junk's above your team. He's going to spam out your whole team. Your team's in super big trouble because no one's controlling high ground, right? All you're doing is fighting the Rammatra, which isn't getting you any value. Mori's going to dive in, goes after the Kiriko. Again, like, you see how you're all just kind of crammed into this small space, and you're just surrounded on all sides by enemies. This is why I say it's so important to prevent the enemy from getting in, right? This is the only way you lose this point, is you let the enemy team spread out. And the team, wisely, kills everyone but you, right? They focus on killing the rest of your team. Working down. You see the Kiriko getting worked down over here, and the Mercy. Tracer's working out the Mercy, right? Junk finally gets a kill, right? And then it's over. So, I think ability usage is number 2 compared to number 1. Just knowing the map and knowing your job. What's your role, right? What do you need to do to win the game? And on this point, I mean, in general, I think these tips are also relevant in general, but on this point, it was so crucial if you're playing Brawl against Brawl to prevent them from getting in cleanly. It doesn't mean they'll never get in, right? There's a lot of reasons for that, but I think that on this point in particular, you had to shut down that attack. If you hold the Junk and the Ram here, and you force the Tracer to use 2, maybe 3 blinks to get in, then you're stand a very, very good chance at holding this point, especially because there's no supports here. So you should recognize, hey, look, I have supports, they don't. I can just run them over and kill them. Because the 2 supports went this way for some crazy reason. So there's definitely a lot of disconnect and confusion on the opposing team that you could have exploited. But you spent the time like running around in these stairs, like doing absolutely nothing, and wasted your Nemesis form. And then when you get the point, you're only targeting the Rammatra. That's just not going to cut it. Okay, so again, number 1, learn the map. Number 2, understand what your job is and do your job. Number 3, play the right hero for the map that you're on, or set style of hero, let's say. And number 4, I'd say play the ability usage stuff that I talked about for what do we play first? It's been so long I forget. Yeah. So fortify, right? Fortify, spin, and lesser extent, I think your vortexes and shields were better. But I think on Orisa particularly, fortify and spin, you got forced out way too much, way too early. Okay, cool. Hopefully it helps.